Welcome to Codex History of Video Games. My name is Tyler Osby.
And I'm Mike Coletta.
And this week, Mike has a very fun game to talk about with us. Alex Kidd in Miracle World. I don't know anything about this other than it was like kind of Sega's mascot before Sonic, but they like didn't. It seemed like they didn't really put a lot of like marketing effort behind it. I don't know. I guess you'll tell us.
Yeah, so we'll talk about it. But essentially what happened was I was in Discord, our Discord, Codex Discord. If you ever want to join it, you can using our website, codexpodcast.net. And old man Ryan posted a picture on Share Your Collection of these old Sega games he got. And one of them was Alex Kidd. I believe it's in Shinobi World, which is a sequel to this.
Oh, is it?
And I was like,
a crossover?
I don't know.
Between Shinobi and...
I mean, maybe. So here's what's going on, though, is I remember hearing about Alex Kidd. Because Alex Kidd is like, if you're not aware, he was, like Tyler said, kind of Sega's answer to Super Mario. And like before, and we're going to talk about that too. Like he was, there's historical evidence that he was Sega's answer to Super Mario.
Okay.
And I just was like, this was such a weird time. And I wanted to talk about it because it's interesting. And it's also something I feel like that I haven't seen covered a lot of other places. So I was like, you know what? Let's just talk about Alex Kidd. And that's Alex Kidd with 2 Ds, like Billy the Kid.
For a double dose of his mascot power.
That's true. So let's go into it with the grime facts. Okay, are you ready, Tyler?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So it was developed by Sega and published by Sega. This is in 1986. So this is just Sega here. It's only Sega. It was released in Japan, November 1st, 1986. And then in North America, in December 1986. And it didn't come to the EU until 1987, but I'm guessing it was still close together. And then the best way to play and how it came out originally is it came out originally on the Sega Master System. Now, though, it can be played on Steam or on Nintendo Switch. And I'm going to say that for this podcast, I played the DX version on Steam because right now, as of this recording, June 7th, 2026, it is on sale for $3. So, which was just coincidental, by the way. Like I decided to do this before, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna probably have to emulate this, and then I went on Steam, and I'm like, wait a second, it's $3. So
yeah,
I just got
you were gonna have to buy a legitimate copy cartridge to emulate it.
Obviously, I was gonna buy a legitimate copy.
Right,
What
right.
I look like?
Of course,
you know,
of course.
A pirate? Like I'm just yar-harring?
No,
There's
I
no
don't
way.
see any eye patches.
There's
no
there's no
piracy.
yar-harring going on
Oh man,
on this podcast whatsoever.
absolutely
okay?
not. We would
Absolutely not. We would never do it. So I play the DX version on Steam. I recommend that. It's got that cool feature that I love where you can press the right trigger and it goes from the new graphics to the old graphics.
Oh, I love when remakes do that.
A la Halo Master Chief Collection doing
Yep,
that too,
I love
which I
that.
love. I'm a sucker for that. It's so good. So I played it that way. It's really fun, but hard. We're going to talk about that. So I'll dive into that more in my gameplay section where I'm going to have a little bit of a rant in the middle of this gameplay
Ooh,
section.
can't wait.
So number of copies sold is unknown. It's kind of too old for sales history,
Yeah, they
even
weren't
for
keeping track of
VG
it.
charts. 1986, they weren't keeping track of that at all. Genre, gameplay style is an action platformer. Average time to beat. So the original on howlongtobeat.com is 2 hours for the main story and also 2 hours for main story and sides and 3.5 hours for completionist. I'm guessing it's the same because there aren't really sides, if you know?
Yeah, is this one of those games that's like, yeah, it takes you 2 hours to beat it if you know what you're doing and just like
yes,
but
because
but if you pick it up for the first time, you're not going to be done in 2 hours.
There's no way.
Yeah,
We'll
it's like
talk
Super
about
Mario
that.
Bros. 3. You could beat it in 45 minutes, but like nobody does that for the first time.
I'm gonna say this game gave me a little bit of PTSD. We'll talk about
Oh
it.
boy.
So
Okay.
yeah, DX remake takes 3 hours for the main story, 3.5 for the sides, and 5.5 hours for completionist. The Metacritic score or alternative source is 80% for the original game on GameRankings.com, which is pretty good. But the DX version only got a 65 on Metacritic, and I think I know why.
Okay.
So from the original game manual in 1986, this is just the plot. We're just going to go over the plot right now. And I found the old game manual online. It is in full black and white. It's very charming because of all the translation errors in it. And I left those in because it's fun to read. So I'm going to read a long thing here. You ready?
Yes.
Directly from the manual. Many centuries ago, on the planet Ares, there lived a boy named Alex Kidd. For 7 years, he lived on Mount Eternal studying shellcore, an ancient art that makes one strong enough to break rocks into pieces. One day, as he was leaving the mountain for his spiritual homeland, he encountered a dying man who told him that the peaceful city of Redaxian was in grave danger. Before taking his last breath, the man gave Alex a piece of a map and a medallion made of sunstone. What does it all mean? The only way to find out is to journey through the miracle world looking for answers. And then that's the first part of it, right? And then there's like a bunch of pages of extra controllers, and then the second part of the plot gets thrown in. So here we go.
What do you mean page of extra controllers? Like
extra controller instructions and
Oh.
like gameplay stuff. It's like they split the plot in the manual. Like it's like plot and then a bunch of other stuff and then more plot and then characters and all. It's kind of weird how they did it, but we'll go into it. So this is the second part. You'll soon find out that Jankin the Great, Emperor of planet Janbaric, is your enemy. His plan is to invade the beautiful city of Redaxian and rule it forever. Jankin the Great got his name from his expertise at the game of Jankin, better known in the Western world as Scissors, Paper, and Stone game.
Ah.
Like all evil leaders, Jankin the Great has an army of devoted followers, including Parplin the Pursuer, Chokina the Sly, and Guseka the Slippery. Plus, Jankin also has many helpers from the animal world, such as a monstrous bird, seahorse, a bat, a monkey, a frog, and a host of others. In order for you to keep Jankin the Great from taking over Redaxian, you must journey through the miracle world, defeating Jankin and his followers as you go. Okay, so that's the plot, right?
Mm-hmm.
A couple things I want to focus on. First and foremost, rock, paper, stone.
Yeah, sure.
Is rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
And that's going to come in later.
Scissors, paper, stone.
Scissors, paper, stone. Excuse me. Is rock, paper, scissors. Yes. Scissors, paper, stone.
His expertise, he's so good at this game.
He's so good at it. And that very much applies in gameplay. And it's going to drive me off the wall. So just keep that in mind. Okay, let's get to the levels. So I'm including this in the plot section because they actually did some world building for this game. And I actually just took a picture of the map so I could show Tyler and everything. But there are 11 locations in Miracle World. I'm just going to read them off. There's Mount Eternal, Lake Fathom, the Island of Saint Nerari, the Village of Nimue, Mount Cave, the Blackwoods, Bingu Lowland, the Redaxian Castle, the City of Redaxian, the Kingdom of Nibbana, and Crag Lake.
Ooh,
and it's actually got kind of a cool... One thing that's funny about this game that I love is it's got like this fantasy aspect to it, right? But there's 100% like modern stuff in it. Like they have like speedboats and motorcycles. So it's going to get out there. The gameplay. So let's get into the gameplay of Alex Kidd in Miracle World. For the entire gameplay section, I'm once again referencing the manual. Not only because I found it online, but translation-wise, it's just fun to read. So the book is very direct. The game is a standard platformer with the main gameplay mechanic being punching rocks and finding out what's inside. That's what you're doing. So whereas Mario is just jumping and running on enemy heads, you can actually punch in Alex Kidd in Miracle World. And there's items that upgrade that punch too.
Ooh,
you
direct
can jump
combat.
Yeah, direct combat. So you can jump around, break blocks, and move around the screen. Some of the blocks are unbreakable. It's pretty clear that they are, as there are a lot of times like a red circle that means like, no, you can't do it. One hit means death. There is no way to take extra hits in this game. It is very hard in that sense. Jumping is also pretty floaty. You can't really do precision jumps or move in the air. Like there was a couple times where I'm moving down the screen because it's not left to right. Sometimes it's just like moving down, and I want to get past an enemy. So I'm like, I'll just jump past them and keep going. You can't direct in the air. It's really hard to like do. It doesn't feel right. Whereas I'm used to, it's like if you're used to playing, I would say like Hollow Knight or Silksong or like newer platform Dead Cells, that platforming is very precise. This is not precise, is how I will put it. The levels end by eating a burger at the end of each level.
I'm down.
Yeah, right. Well, here's the thing. It's a burger, and then sometimes it's other foods. Like based on the translation of the version you're playing, it's different foods, which is kind of cool. And in the DX version, you can change the food, which is fun. So I like that. Also, there are water levels, and there are portions of the level that are like water. Swimming is kind of weird. Your character always swims up automatically, and you have to push down on the stick to make him dive.
It's like sort of the opposite of how Mario swimming works, where he's like constantly sinking, but you have to be.
Yeah, it's Mario inverted. Look at that. So it makes it kind of hard to do. You can also go down like pots as secrets sometimes. Other secrets are like walls that don't look breakable but actually are. I would describe these as your standard like early retro game secrets that kind of upset you because you would only find out about these from a friend that also found out about it from a different person.
From like a magazine or from an older brother, or
Yeah.
like their uncle works at Nintendo.
Exactly.
Sega.
Exactly. Their uncle worked at Sega. So that's kind of how you do this. I also forgot to put this in my notes, but the other part about it is you can't go backward. So,
So
if
it's like
you
Mario
go
in that
down,
sense too.
if you go down, there's no going back up. It just stops you, which is kind of frustrating because I fell and I was like, oh, I didn't get those blocks. And I jumped and I was like, oh, I can't go back up.
I think that's how all the NES Mario games are too. I'm pretty sure you can't go backwards.
Yeah, I think it's a technology thing more than
Probably.
anything. But yeah, it's just got that classic. And what's funny is in the DX remake, they make that still apply. Even though the graphics look super nice, they're like, no, you can't go back.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, even if it comes from a hardware like constraint, like it's part of the gameplay that you can't go backwards. So it makes sense that they wouldn't just add it in later because that changes the game.
Yeah, it's part of the strategy of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So there are different types of blocks you break. Some of the have like gold coins. These are blocks with stars on them, and the big bag contains 20 gold coins, and the small one has 10 gold coins. There's a powerful bracelet, is what it's called, which is used to use the quote the shocking waves of destruction trick, is what it's called. And what that does is you punch and it like shoots out in front of you. It's very strong. It's like you want to have this bracelet on at all times. It's super good. Then you can also get an Alex Kidd as an extra life from inside the boxes. They just call it an Alex Kidd, though, in the manual. There's also a ghost. He'll try to possess you, and when they say possess, they mean one-hit kill. It's very frustrating. There's also a box with a skull where if you break it, it'll give you the jitters, is what they said. And that means like you push it, you're like, and you like shake
You get
back and
spooked.
forth. Yeah, you get a little scared. So you don't want to punch the death skull boxes. There's other items in the game that are pretty cool. Like some of them are purchased with money that you collect in the levels. So it's kind of nice. They actually have shops that you actually buy things, which I thought was kind of neat, which makes it a little more advanced than Mario in that way. And I am comparing this to Super Mario Brothers, the first Super Mario Brothers game for the NES, because this is very much an 8-bit competition we got going on here. One thing I love, as I said before, is it is a fantasy world, but then you have motorcycles, speedboats, and a unicycle-powered helicopter. So we're going to talk about all these items, but let's get into these ones. So the first thing that they mentioned for the magic items are the teleport powder, which is a magic powder that makes you invisible to the enemy, so you can move right through them. But remember, its magic only lasts a short time.
Why is it called teleport? Where are you teleporting to?
I think it's because you can go through enemies, is what they're calling it, teleport powder.
Okay.
You're not actually teleporting. This is where the translation things come in.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's the power bracelet, which you can create the shocking waves of destruction, a powerful ancient trick in the art of shellcore, and that just shoots a beam forward.
Shellcore just sounds like a genre of music of people on the beach that have like made out of shells, like seashells.
Oh yeah, shellcore. You listen to shellcore?
I'm a big shellcore fan.
Yeah, shellcore has got to be ska adjacent.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Will
For
Wheaton
sure.
used to have a joke about shellfish core hip hop, where he just raps about shellfish.
Okay, so that's it. So maybe Will Wheaton stole that from Alex Kidd, is what I'm thinking happened.
Yeah.
So you can also get an extra life in the shop, so you can actually buy extra lives with the money you get, which makes it good. I should also mention the shop is limited. So you go into a shop and there's 3 items for sale, and those are the only 3 items, and they don't do restocks. It's like you can buy out the whole shop if you want to. There's the cane of flight, and this cane gives you so much psychic power you can actually fly for a limited amount of time, is what it says.
Wow.
The magic capsule A, it has magic capsule A and magic capsule B. I feel like they got a little lazy with the names.
You just couldn't come up with something else. There's like
Yeah,
A and B.
so-
I don't know, man. Do we ever name
Yes,
those
Matt-
things? Oh no, we forgot to name them. It's fine.
Nah, it's A and B. A and B magic. So when you need help badly, you can throw capsule A, and then 8 of your friends will magically appear to help you. You can throw capsule B, and then a barrier will surround you and protect you from enemies. That's the only way to not really get hit. So there's
Is
also
A for
this.
assist, B for barrier.
did you just discover something, or are you just trying to fix the manual's mistakes?
I'm just trying to make sure that the manual, they look like they did it on purpose.
I will say this is a very beefy manual for what the game is. Like, there's a lot of text in this thing. Maybe I'll share the document. I made a text searchable version of it, so I'll put that in the Discord.
I love manuals for old games, man.
I do too, and I love that they're all scanned in.
Yeah.
That's what makes this podcast fun for me, because when we do older games now, I used to just go online to like try to find like websites. I'm like, no, now I just go to the manual. Like, I'm going to use the primary source, which is the instruction manual of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to play the game, and then I'm going to try to find any weird development stories I can online. So that's my 3-part system to doing podcast episodes. The Suco Paco motorcycle, that's the first vehicle you can purchase for 200 gold. Not only is it fast, it can also break rocks, but it can't go in water and it can't go in reverse. That's what it says.
Well, sounds like nothing can go in reverse in this game.
Yep. And then there's the pedicopter. This is the helicopter that's run by a unicycle. And the description is, it's like a helicopter that's equipped with a missile. Which I love the description.
Cool.
Yeah. So there's treasures that you have to find in various points along the way. And these treasures help bring peace to Redaxian. But they each have different roles in the plot. And some of them are just kind of given to you. And some of them you got to kind of do more to find. There's the Sunstone Medallion, the Moonlight Stone Medallion, the Gold Crown, the Harada Stone, and then a personal letter to the Kingdom of Nibbana. And it says, without this letter, certain items cannot be contained. Contained cannot be found. See, again, translation error here. Cannot be contained. There are many types of enemies in the game. I actually didn't, this is not from the manual. This is just me playing the game. So I encountered in the first 2 levels, fish, dinosaurs, scorpions, bats, and these little Geodude kind of guys. They look like mini Geodudes.
Like little rock.
Yeah, little rock
things.
guys with buff arms. It's weird how much they look like Geodude. But you fight those.
I wonder if they both are referring to like some kind of mystical creature in like Japanese lore or something. Sometimes
potentially. So I think there's a little bit of that in this game because it was originally going to be a different game, which we're going to talk about in the development section. So yeah, there's also the ghost enemy and the moving flames. It's important to note you cannot hurt the ghost or the moving flames. So don't do it, because I tried it and I died a lot. So don't do that. Before I had a bad time. So I'm trying to tell you all. So don't do that. Okay. Did you know there's boss battles in this game, Tyler?
I didn't know that.
And
I'm excited to hear more about them.
I'm going to start to lose it because you would think, oh, a boss battle. I'm going to run in and jump and punch the boss, which happens. There's a bear with a sword, for example. That's a cool boss. A bear with a sword. You punch him. That's cool.
For sure.
But no, because most of the boss battles are random games of rock, paper, scissors.
That's the boss.
You play rock, paper, scissors against the person that you're fighting. They're like, we're going to challenge each other to a game of Janken. And then it's rock, paper, scissors is what you play. Straight up.
Is there any sort of like strategy? Like, how can you be good at this?
No, at first. So this is where I'm going to go crazy. Okay. Because if you'd like me, you'd have no idea what to do, Tyler, right? So I went into the first level and I didn't beat it for 1 hour because I kept losing rock, paper, scissors over and over and over again until I found out, like, so I was just like, screw this. And I went back to reading the manual. You have to have an item so you can read the mind of the other boss so you can beat them at rock, paper, scissors.
So, okay, so you're not actually supposed to play rock, paper, scissors. You're supposed to...
But it doesn't tell you.
Yeah. Dang.
So what happens is music starts playing and they're like, pick a choice before the music ends. And then you like pick rock, paper, or scissors. And it's like a little hand. And then the other guys pops up. And if we win or lose, it's best 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
And
is
if
it
you
actually
lose,
possible
you die.
to win at the rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah, it is. If you can read their mind or
but if you
very,
don't,
very lucky.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you don't have the thing, is it actually possible to win?
It is possible. And I actually looked online to be like, is it the same set of rock, paper, scissors? And the game was like, yes, until you die once. And then it becomes random. I was so mad, dude. I was, who made this? I was so upset because I was like sitting there like thinking I'm going to go into a cool boss fight where I got to punch someone. And then it's like, no, it's rock, paper, scissors. And then the best part is later in the game, because I watched a long play because I gave up and I'm going to talk about that too. Later in the game, you beat the guy at rock, paper, scissors, and then you have a boss fight with him. And keep in mind, it's one-hit kills. So if you beat the rock, paper, scissors guy, then this dude shoots across the screen. You got to dodge it, and then you got to punch it 3 times.
Oh my gosh. You got to be ready for it too, probably. Like you win the rock, paper, scissors, and then he launches across the screen, you die, and you're like, oh, crud.
It's immediate. It's so fast. And it's always so the guys that play rock, paper, scissors against you, their heads are shaped like a hand making a rock, paper, or scissors.
Okay.
That's what their bad guys art style is like. And it depends on like who you fight, but they each do a different thing when you start fighting them, and some like shoot across the screen at you, some of them shoot above and start bouncing off walls. Like, it's crazy. This game is, I would call it Nintendo hard. It's Sega hard is what it is. It's old school, relentless Sega hard. And I'm going to jump ahead. This game is 2 hours to beat, but in reality, it's, if you were a child, you would spend days of your life memorizing pieces of this game to get to a certain part to move on to the next one. That's what it is. It's just memory.
How these
it's
games
knowing
were back
what
in
to
the
do.
day.
Yeah. There's an underwater section in the first level that has a new kind of enemy that's like a frog that shoots bubbles out at you. First time encountering this frog, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just going to punch this frog. No big deal, right? And then the bubble thing happened. I just instantly died. I had to go all the way back. Just like,
Cool.
why? Yeah. It's like, it's that kind of Sega hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it really bothered me, and I do not have the patience for it. So like, again, I could see as a kid, you could enjoy this and you can get into this and you could like keep playing it. But I'm talking, you would have to write your own maps. You'd have to write your own notes. You have to remember stuff. Like you might have to actually write down the rock, paper, scissors the first time you fight him, because that shouldn't change in theory the first time you fight him. But if you die, then it becomes random. And if you don't know about that the telepathy orb is what it's called, that lets you see their thoughts, you're not going to know like how to cheese that.
So it's like every level has a telepathy orb?
In the shop, you can buy it,
Oh.
or you can find it, or you find it in the level.
Okay.
So you either buy it or you find it. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I just don't, this is just how games were back then, right? They were designed to be like, they take up your time, and that's the fun in it, is learning the game and taking up your time. And I think for maybe, and you can attest to this too, Tyler, Super Mario World is the same thing. It's just a little more forgiving.
Yeah.
I think that's why there was, for example, those SNES ones were a little more forgiving than the 8-bit era, because they kind of figured out like, okay, you got mushrooms to make it so you don't instantly die.
Yeah, and there was there's like some version of like progress saving too. Like when you get a game over in Super Mario World, it's not back to Yoshi's Island. It's you lose a few levels worth of progress or something.
Yeah, and this game is, you have 3 lives, and when it's game over,
that's it.
You go back to the beginning, unless you know the secret, which is you hold up and then you pay 400 gold to add a continue option to the game.
Wow.
I am dead serious.
That's definitely the kind of thing you hear from like on the playground, right? Like,
yeah.
Man, I can't beat this level. I always die and I lose all my lives. Like, well, you can try again.
Did you know about the continue option where you hold up on the pad and then you can, on the game pad, the D-pad?
Mm-hmm.
I read that and I was like, this is a classic game that just doesn't hold your hand at all. It just kind of pushes you into the pool and hopes you swim out of it. So that's my rantiness part of it. It really drives me crazy. But the cool thing about the DX version, and I'm going to say this, so I don't want to dissuade people from trying out Alex Kidd in Miracle World. I'm not going to do that to you. But if you want to play this game and you want to not get frustrated, I highly recommend you get the DX version of the game and you go into the assist menu and you can turn on a bunch of things that help you. You can do infinite lives. You can change the hitboxes. You can change different. There's different. You can change how it controls. So it controls a little bit easier. Like it has more modern platforming. But there's a couple moves you can't do, because that's the other thing about it. You know, when you're little Mario and you can just go under one block spaces, Alex Kidd looks like he could fit under one block spaces, but he can't unless you do a special move where you hold the down button and like move forward in a weird way to go under. And it's very weird looking. It's kind of wonky looking. So if you go into the assist menu and you change the controls to modern controls, you lose that ability. So there's certain areas you just can't access in the game, which is kind of weird, but that's the only way around it. Yeah. So I would say if you want to play this game, get the DX version. Enjoy those crisp new cartoony graphics. They are pretty fun, and they redid the sound too, and it sounds great. Or you hit the right trigger, play the old version while you're in the DX version.
That's so cool.
And turn on Infinite Lives and just go to town, and just you'd be like, wow, this would be really hard if I didn't have Infinite Lives on. That's what I would tell you. So try that out. But highly recommend if you're interested in this kind of like old school retro hard. I highly recommend. This was way harder to me than Star Tropics. I thought.
Yeah.
Like Star Tropics was pretty hard, but this is like a whole new level.
Were there any manuals you had to dunk in water for this one?
No, unfortunately.
Dang.
That's still my favorite thing. It's probably one of my favorite random video game facts we ever talked about on this show was the Star Tropics hidden dunk the letter secret to go progress in the actual game. So like a real life thing to go in the game. If you haven't listened to our Star Tropics episode, listen to that. Or just Google it. There's a million videos and stuff about it out there. I'm really good at plugging our podcast. Okay, let's get into the development section. So we're finally going to talk about like into the title of this episode. Like I'm going to title this episode, by the way, Alex Kidd, the mascot before Sonic. So some new things have come to life about Alex Kidd as late as 2018. I found an article online that was originally in Nintendo Life in 2018. And the title is Alex Kidd in Miracle World was supposed to be a Dragon Ball game. So this is from the article. Quote, Kotaro Hayashida, creator of the character, indelibly media shy, Hayashida speaks to John Sapaniak, I think is how you say it, as part of this untold history of Japanese game developers project, explaining exactly how it started. Sega were planning on making a Dragon Ball game. I guess this happened long enough ago that it's okay for me to talk about this. The project began as a Dragon Ball title, not as a direct competitor to Super Mario Bros. But when we were told we could not use the Dragon Ball license anymore, we were forced to come up with our own ideas instead. For example, when it was Dragon Ball, Goku fought with his power pole, but we changed that to a punch attack. It was only after we came up with the plan to restart the project as Alex Kidd in Miracle World that we started thinking about Mario and looking for ways in which to differentiate the title from it.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
It could have been a different world, man. I bet if they'd had Dragon Ball as like their like flagship game on their console, might have been very different world we're living in.
For sure. And like in that mind, that's the historical note that tells me they were to do Dragon Ball, and then they're like, okay, well, we're pivoting to have this being a Mario competitor.
Yeah.
Right. Like by talking about how they want to differentiate it from Super Mario, they're kind of admitting that they're like, we got to make our Mario killer. You know,
Mm-hmm.
They do that all the time now. Our Destiny killer. Remember the Age of Destiny killers?
Yeah, the WoW killers,
the WoW killers, the Halo
yeah.
killers. Yeah. Call of Duty killers. Yeah. So, okay. I hate using that kind of language, but we're doing it. So the main idea of the game was Dragon Ball, but then swapped into a Mario competitor. That's why this game was actually Sega's mascot before Sonic came on the scene. Is like, okay, so this is going to be considered like one of the original Sega characters. And I have a little factoid coming up here that tells you about like where Alex Kidd stood among Sega's mascots, but we'll get to that in a bit. I still want to talk about how like there's some similarities here between Alex Kidd and Dragon Ball. Like even people kind of guessed this even before they had that interview with Hayashida. There's a YouTube video from a person named AnthoGeek, is a French YouTuber, and they talk about how they were created to talk like, okay, I don't know much about Dragon Ball, all right, but apparently there's some sort of rock paper scissors thing going on in Dragon Ball, and that's. Do you know anything about Dragon Ball?
I am not very familiar with Dragon Ball. I started watching some of the like redone version of the original show, Dragon Ball Z Kai, and it did not grab me.
Did not resonate.
I'm unfamiliar with any rock paper scissors motifs in Dragon Ball, if that's what you're asking.
But so this was kind of what I wanted to say is AnthroGeek, this French YouTuber, kind of guessed it before it even happened. So I wanted to give them their props. But in that Nintendo Life article, they also mention that Alex Kidd was created to combat Mario in the 8-bit area between the NES and the Master System. However, this war was mostly fought in Europe and Brazil. And this is kind of a friendly reminder to us, Tyler, that I think we need to do some time away from American video game history and get that replay book. So this is kind of a good
I
reminder.
think you're right. Yeah, because Master System was basically non-existent in the United States. Like, as far as being in the conversation, the zeitgeist, like, it was Nintendo. That was it. That's all that existed.
Yeah.
Until the Genesis.
So, yeah, and I think we need to talk about that I think we should do this sooner rather than later, because I feel like I am guilty of having a very Americanized view of video game history when there's so much more out there that we haven't even talked about or covered. And we could do that replay book, and I think that'd be a good time. So at one point, Alex Kidd was preloaded with Master Systems, just like Super Mario Brothers. And this actually made 2 different versions of the game. And I found a Giant Bomb article that kind of explains what happened. So, quote, initially upon release in 1986, Alex Kidd was released on cartridge, but then from around 1990 onwards, the game was built into the hardware for different versions of the Sega Master System in various regions of the world. The most notable difference between the built-in and cartridge version is the food Alex eats on the map screen. In the cartridge version of the game, Alex is seen to be eating what appears to be a bowl of rice or noodles. However, in the built-in version, he is seen eating a hamburger. This difference could have been Sega's way of making Western audiences relate to Alex better if he is seen eating an iconic food of Western culture.
This is like a common thing in like the 80s, 90s, when like localizing stuff from Japan to the US, they would like change things like that, like food. I remember in Pokemon, the anime, they had like rice balls they were eating, like you would get at like a 7-Eleven or whatever in Japan, but they call them donuts, and they don't look like donuts because they don't change what they look like. But it's just like, you could just call it a rice ball. It's fine.
Yeah, just call it a rice ball.
Like, do you think people are going to be so confused they turn the show off? Because I'm more confused that you called it a donut and it's clearly not a donut.
That's way worse.
Yeah,
I agree with you. One thing Tyler and I want to stress to video game companies: food accuracy.
that's right.
All right. And I think we can all agree that Persona had the best version of it when they talked about Hot Pot and how it brings people together.
Yep, that's true. Hot Pot does bring people together. I'm really excited for Persona 4 Revival. There's a new trailer that just dropped today, so I'm like,
do they talk about food in that one? I hope so.
I don't know if they do in the.
We've talked about how Hot Pot brings people together is like a meme between you and me, right?
Yeah, from Persona 5.
From Persona 5. Tyler and I reference it way too much. Okay. So annoyingly so. But the point is, that's kind of a fun thing there with the different versions of the game right now. So the DX version is great, as I said before, because you can actually switch between what food you're eating. And I think they have it kind of programmed to be a mix between both. So when you click on the old screen, you can actually see the burger, or you can see the other one. So I think it's onigiri is the other food. Okay. So let's talk about the legacy of this game. And the legacy of the game is in its other titles. So there are 6 total Alex Kidd games, and 1 more if you count Miracle World DX, but I'm not counting that because it's kind of a remake. But the other 5 games are Alex Kidd The Lost Stars in 1986, Alex Kidd High Tech World in 1987, Alex Kidd BMX Tribal in 1987. Those are all on the Master System.
I'm interested in Alex Kidd BMX Trial.
Me too. And then there's Alex Kidd and the Enchanted Castle for the Sega Genesis in 1989. And then it goes back to the Master System with Alex Kidd and Shinobi World on 1990 in the Master System. And that's the game that Old Man Ryan had in that picture.
Gotcha. Do these games also come out on the Game Gear? Lots of Master System games also came out on Game Gear, because
I'm not sure.
Game Gear more or less is just a Master System.
I didn't really dig too much into the other games, mostly because I didn't really feel like I had the time and accessibility in my schedule to get to them. I didn't want to do all the games at once. I do think we could do more of these Alex Kidd games. I think it'd be kind of cool. And honestly, when you turn the old graphics on in the DX version, I was impressed. It looks pretty good. It's an old game, but it's not bad.
Yeah. Are these other games in the DX version, or is it just the first game?
Just the first game. So I'm hoping that we get more DX releases of these older games, though. It sounds like, the Steam version is reviewed well. I don't know how it's sold,
Mm.
but it's kind of a niche thing, right? So I think it's just kind of cool that they're redoing these on Steam. On a side note, I did find an article from Electronic Gaming Monthly, and this is volume 11, number 6, issue 107 from June of 1998. And there was a poll in there about who gamers wanted to see come back on the next Sega system at the time that was codenamed Katana. It would become the Dreamcast. And Alex Kidd is on the list, but he's in 5th out of 6th place. And I have a chart down here.
But he's on the list.
He's on the list. So what happened was everyone wanted to see Sonic the Hedgehog as number 1, obviously. Then it was Virtua Fighter, Virtua Cop, Daytona, and then Alex Kidd, and then followed by Sega Rally. So Alex Kidd is on there, right? But he's not super popular. I think it really is like if you played games not in the US for Sega Genesis in the late 80s, early 90s, you were probably an Alex Kidd fan. That's what it sounds like.
Well, tell us, if you are one of these people who played a lot of Alex Kidd as a kid or in the past,
young adult,
or maybe you were in your 70s in the 80s and now you're in your 130s and you're still listening to us. Thanks.
Thank you.
Tell us about it.
Appreciate you. Tell us about it. If you're an Eternal that has not aged and you listen to our podcast, email us. So Alex Kidd was last seen primarily making cameos in other Sega games. I describe him as sort of the Mr. Game & Watch of Sega.
Sure. Yeah.
So those games he's in include Sega Gaga, which is a weird we should do an episode.
This? I'm like, Sega.
It's a 2001 game where you're playing as a person trying to save Sega, the company.
Role-playing simulation. Samba de Amigos in this game? I'm just looking at the Wikipedia article. What the heck is this?
It's a weird game. We should talk about Sega Gaga. But then he's also in Sega Superstars Tennis 2004, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing in 2010, and Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed in 2012. Then Alex Kidd disappears.
Oh.
Could we see him in a Super Smash Brothers game at some point? Maybe, because we've seen Sega properties in there before now. So, I mean, we can do whatever we want because Sega is just a software company, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not competing with Nintendo anymore. They're fine with it. So, we can see that. Will we get another Alex Kidd game? Probably not. I think the days of getting a new original Alex Kidd game are over. But maybe we'll get a DX remake of other Alex Kidd games, which I think is cool. I know we live in a world of reboots and remakes and remasters, and a lot of people are upset by those. But I do because it feels like for example, Nintendo. Everyone's like, they're just remaking all their games. They're not like making any new games. But for historical preservation, I think giving these older games remasters and reboots is the best thing you can do for them.
I agree.
Give them new life. So in that sense, I want more of them. But I feel like this is considered a, quote, dead franchise, is how I will call this now.
I would also consider it that.
Yeah, but it was just a weird whim when I saw this picture that Old Man Ryan had, and I was like, Alex Kidd. I feel like I've heard of Alex Kidd. And then I kind of dug into it more, and now we have an episode on it. And if you're mad that I haven't gone to our ideas list, you have fully justified reasons too. But I just kind of got on a kick this week. And I played this game. And will I play it again? Maybe, but it was pretty hard. Like,
it would be fun, I think, at some point to talk about mascots themselves and like why certain ones did better than others. Because I remember like sort of researching this time like a long time ago of like, what did Sega have to answer Mario before Sonic came out? And the answer is like not much. And I want to be like, why?
Yeah.
And then like PlayStation sort of struggled to get their own, like they had Crash and Spyro and like, you know, they had a few, but there never was one. Like with Nintendo, it's like, it's Mario. With Sony, you were like, it could be any of these. And then Sega became about Sonic eventually, but it took them a minute to get there. I don't know. It's just an interesting like thing to think about.
Did people even think like when Xbox came out, did they even consider like Master Chief as a mascot? Because I didn't. I just thought it was like their main title. Like he wasn't a mascot to me either. The age of mascots had kind of died by that point.
Yeah, I think they hadn't. Halo was a little bit of a surprise in how good it was. Like it looked good ahead of time, but like I don't think Microsoft was quite prepared for like how big of a deal it was going to be. It ended up being like far and away the best launch title for the Xbox, and Halo 1 and 2, you know, still among top Xbox titles. So I don't think they positioned him as like a mascot for launch. I do think they tried a little bit with Blinks, the Time Sweeper, because he's like a cute cat mascot. Maybe this is me
cats
like
on this podcast.
that's true. Maybe that's me reading into like 2001. I'm just like projecting my own biases on there, but I'm like, they didn't have a real mascot, and I thought Blinks was kind of the closest thing to like a kid friendly, like because Master Chief could have been a mascot, but it's hard. You can't market Master Chief to children, right? And mascots like kind of are for children, right? So maybe that's why they decided we don't need a mascot where Xbox isn't for kids.
Yeah. Also, I'm trying to think now, like in my research for Alex Kidd, I never ran into any promotional materials for Sega that included him.
Yeah.
In the same way you see like Mario with the Nintendo logo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't see that with Alex Kidd. I think their thing was, we're going to make Alex Kidd. It's going to be our version of Super Mario Brothers, but that's just it. It's built in on the console, but that's it.
Yeah.
And then maybe they'll hope that people will be like, oh man, this game's so much better than Super Mario Brothers. But in reality, I don't think it was. So that's just based on accessibility, because it's very hard. And I think it's cool. I think they built a silly little world with shell core. You know, they lost Dragon Ball. They took something that they had and they made their own thing, and they should be commended for that, even if it is very hard or mildly not unplayable. It just didn't age well.
Yeah,
that's how I would put it. So
I do think if they had been able to keep Dragon Ball, we'd be in a very different world right now. Like Sega might be the Dragon Ball company. You know what I mean? I can just like picture the news headlines from like 1998. Sega buys Dragon Ball Z. It's now, you know, officially a Sega thing. And like, I don't know, that could have been, it's like an alternate history there of like where Dragon Ball Z is this huge thing and it's just part and parcel with Sega. The way
makes
Mario
me wonder
is.
too, because they said the license expired. But it's like, if you knew a license was going to expire, but you're making this Dragon Ball game, why didn't you try to renew the license?
Yeah, yeah.
That's just such a weird... There's a lot of... And this comes from these older game stories that we have, where there's a lot of unanswered questions. There's like, what really happened? The development side, you can tell I have these facts of different things about how it was built in, how we have the interview with the creator talking about how it used to be a Dragon Ball game. But that's kind of it. There's nothing really else there. Because they didn't care in 1986. They didn't think that these were the kind of things that people would want to know about 30 years later.
Yeah.
But we do. So, or I mean, 40 years later. Oof.
Sorry. The 90s were 10 years ago, Mike.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The 90s were 10 years ago. We are in the beautiful year of 2006. I just graduated high school. Oh, God. Okay. All right. So we'll cover more Alex Kidd later on. But for now, that's going to be it for the day. So, Tyler, what you been playing?
I've been playing. Well, you and I have been fighting in the Guild Wars once again.
Oh, Prince Rurik. He needs our help.
I know. We tried a mission. We got stuck by some giant yak things that were healing
some
themselves.
baloney,
But
some healing baloney,
some real baloney. And I think the answer is we just need to do some leveling a little bit, make our stats better. So that's been fun. I am probably, by the time people hear this, I will have started a new playthrough of Final Fantasy VII Remake because I need to play it on Steam. Because as we have all seen this week, I'm sure the trailer for Final Fantasy VII Revelation dropped, and I am very, very excited. And I have until spring of 2027 to play through Remake and Rebirth again on Steam. So I'm about to get started on that because it takes me a long time to play through games. But that's kind of it as far as games go. Mostly just Guild Wars. I lots of my free time have been spent on this other like just personal project I've been working on. So I haven't spent as much time playing games. I have been working my way through Ocarina of Time 3D on my AYN Thor and using a mod that gives it free camera controls on the right joystick.
Game changer,
yeah. And you can do that on your 3DS version too if you have one of the 3DSs with the little nub. There's like hacks that you can make it work to do that as well.
Yeah, dude. I'm excited for Guild Wars 3 also. I want to see what they do.
Me too. Yeah. I'm like kind of tempted to fire up Guild Wars 2 a little bit. Although I did look
Never played.
They're on Steam. Like the base game is like free to play, and then you're like their monetization model is like we'll just sell you story expansion packs as you like progress through, which is fine. But it feels like it's like $100 on sale right now for all of them, and I feel like that's still too high for a game that old. Although I know that it's not like they stopped working on it 15 years ago. Like I know there's like new content still hitting it, so I don't know. I'm just having a hard time. I want to jump in, but $100 seems like a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of money
Yeah.
for
But
a game that's that old.
what have you been playing, Mike?
Well, I have been playing more Divinity Original Sin 2. I got much farther in the story, and I finally got one of my first companions like quest fully done. So I think I'm
Ooh.
getting closer to the end, which is kind of cool. Playing that. I've been playing. I played a couple marathon matches since the new season dropped, and I like it. I think I need to get people to play with though, because it's not really a solo game, and I was playing it with solo, or I played it with some randoms, and the randoms were really nice, but it's just kind of like hard to get your contracts done.
Yeah. You're always
So
rolling the dice with randos too. Like sometimes they're nice, but sometimes they're not nice.
yeah, sometimes they're not. And also on top of that, you have this thing too where the hard part for me with marathon is I'm like, what's my goal right now? Like, what am I trying to do? Do I need to go to the cryo archive? Do I need to like, because I know the goal is to get loot and then to use that loot to do harder things. That's the goal.
Yeah.
But it's not like Destiny where I have like a clear, there's a raid you're leveling up for.
Yeah.
Or there's like, it's like, oh no, I just loot to go loot more. Like what keeps me bringing back? And there's these contracts, but then I found out that the contracts reset at the season start, but they're not new. So the same contracts are the ones I'm doing. And I'm like, why am I doing these things again? Like I just did
Oh.
these. And it feels kind of bad. So maybe I'm looking into that wrong. It's a game I'm trying to learn how I'm supposed to play it. I like the gunplay. I like the feeling of it. I think it's really the new mode they have is you have a sponsored kit. So it's one team of 3 alone on a map at night, and then real player rooks spawn in randomly to loot and fight you. So it's like it's not teams versus teams; it's team versus solo rooks fighting, and then the
Oh.
robots, which
Yeah, of course.
I think it's pretty fun if we could get a group of 3 together. I think that'd be kind of fun.
I might be down to check some of that out.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I've also been playing Battlefield 6. I've been kind of jumping around to games, but Divinity Original Sin 2 is the main one. I've been in a real CRPG kick lately, and I think I'm either going to go back to Divinity 1 or I'm going to pick up Baldur's Gate 3 again for this.
It might be time once again.
Once more
they
into
are
the
remaking
breach.
the original Divinity, right? I saw the original Divinity.
I think so. Yeah, so I have the original Divinity on Steam too, so maybe I should just wait. Well, I thought that new Divinity that Larian's making that's a remake of the original? I thought it was like a new game.
Reveal a new Divinity, their biggest RPG ever. It's just called Divinity, so maybe it's like a reboot, not a remake of the original.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
I think it's basically trying to be Baldur's Gate 4, but without the Baldur's Gate. Like, I mean, they're trying to release like a bigger game, right?
I'm really bummed they didn't go into Baldur's Gate 4 because I guess we can talk about it now. There's some major differences between Baldur's Gate 3 and Divinity Original Sin 2. Obviously, there's a whole different rule system, but Divinity Original Sin 2 heavily relies on elemental damage, like, and elementals pairing with each other. So, for example, you put a pool of water on the ground, you shock it, does more damage, right? Baldur's Gate 3 is very much positioning focused, and like you can jump, you can kick people off of things, you can do like all these things that I find more fun. Because what ends up happening every time I fight in Divinity Original Sin 2, even though I have story mode on, is all my guys are clumped up because I don't know a fight's coming because I'm trying not to use too many guides. And then they all get clumped up. Someone shoots a fireball on all of them. And then now I'm immediately in like a negative place. I have to get myself out of it, which is fine. I mean, I guess I could be playing the game differently where I separate all my people and like set them up in different spots. But I'm just like, I just want to get this story. I want to understand, because I actually like the lore. I think the lore of Divinity Original Sin 2 is pretty cool, and the story of what's going on with all these different people and how these gods are kind of jerks. I think that's a cool idea. But yeah, I think I like the gameplay of Baldur's Gate 3 more. But if you have thoughts on CRPGs, you should let us know. Email us. Go to History Video Games.
Maybe the new Divinity will take some of that Baldur's Gate 3 stuff that you like and add it to Divinity. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I would hope so. I think that, I mean, my favorite thing to do in Baldur's Gate 3 is to, just like Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, I love pushing someone off a ledge. I think it's funny
Do you
to
yell
let
this is Sparta
gravity
every
do
time?
it for you. I do. Every time I yell, "This is Sparta." And shirtless with a red sash and a toga thing on.
I would like to spend more time with Divinity Original Sin 2 because I have it on iPad. I bought it on iPad when it was on sale for like $5 once, and it plays really nice on iPad. Like CRPGs with touchscreen is a pretty good experience, generally speaking. And
Nice.
I'm still surprised that they haven't put Baldur's Gate 3 on iPad because it's powerful enough and it's on Mac already. So maybe they just haven't made like a touch-friendly interface for it or something, but it just seemed like that would be such a good selling point for like, hey, we have Baldur's Gate 3, buy an iPad.
That would be game over, man. There would be a lot of people on their iPads playing Baldur's. It's such a fun game. I know it didn't resonate with some like super RPG fans didn't resonate with Baldur's Gate 3 as hard as like I did, but because it's more accessible and baby's first CRPG for me, it was really not first, but first one I really got obsessed with was Baldur's Gate 3. So I also think the cool thing about Divinity Original Sin 2 is they commit to each like species doing different things. Like the undead character does not heal from healing spells. He heals from poison, which I think is kind of cool. Like I think little details like that are kind of fun because then what happens is if the poison monster's attacking my skeleton guy, he just gets healed a bunch. I'm like, this is cool. This is great. He should 1v1 that poison guy.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So, but yeah, it's really fun. So that's kind of been what I've been playing. But again, if you want to support this podcast, you have any thoughts you want to share with us, you can go to codexpodcast.net. That's our website. It's got our contact form. You can also send us an email directly at codexhistorypodcast@gmail.com. With that, Tyler, do you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah. Goodbye, everybody.
Still dancing.
See, me too. Never stop.